What's happening, everybody, and welcome back to the True Gamer Podcast, a podcast hosted by two gamers for you, the true gamers. I'm one of your hosts, Eddie, along with my bro, the inverted gamer himself, Ships. Bro, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. I just realised I'm not in my Conbros official merch.
Just get naked right now.
I'll do it. This isn't going on anywhere with like a toss, so we could. Have you seen what is going on Twitch?
What's
there
happening
is
on
like
Twitch?
there was this one streamer who was like on the discovery page. You know, it's not like it's recommended for me. It's just like trending or something.
Right.
And her thing was like it was like a hot the jacuzzi thing. You know what they called
Hot tub streamer?
Hot tub. Yeah, it was a hot tub stream.
Yeah.
And her title was big milky jugs like hanging out of my bikini or something like that. And I'm like, there are actually websites specifically for this.
Yeah.
Like if you want to do the live this thing, maybe.
The problem is that, do you know what Twitch is? And this is, I heard this the first time and it clicked for me finally when Amaranth said it one time.
Okay.
Twitch is an advertisement platform that you get paid to be there for.
I hate that.
It's so scummy, isn't it?
I hate that so much.
And saying it out loud as well, like that, with such no shame at all.
Saying it fully from your chest.
That's just even worse. And it's like, yeah, so that's what Twitch is. Yeah. And what's really funny is that Twitch know that. Obviously, they know that. One of the biggest creators there. They've seen that. They've heard that, and they do nothing.
They're like, yeah, but we make a lot of money because of it.
We're fine. So don't come at me when you say, "Oh yeah, but these other places they're terrible." Everyone's terrible.
Yeah, true that.
Don't come at me. Anyway, bro, how you doing?
I'm doing terrible because the ULEZ is a thing now. So it costs me almost 15 quid to get here.
Oh,
plus the 45 minutes of my life.
Good old London.
Yay, London.
Got to be proud to be a Londoner. Londoner right there. Yeah, it's pretty shit.
When are we moving out of London, bruv?
Well, maybe something we're going to talk about in the Combros podcast today.
Is it?
Because I did just come back from Sweden.
Yeah.
I had a little week holiday there.
Yeah.
I totally wasn't... it wasn't a trip that I had planned or like it had been something in the making. My girlfriend said she wanted to see some family out there. And I was like, cool, I guess I'll tag along. I've never really had any affinity for Sweden. Let me just go there.
I know a few Swedes and they've put me off of it.
Exactly. Yeah. Some of the guys that watch our show, I was like... definitely don't want to go there. Yeah. But then I went there and it was a fantastic time. I had such a good time. Such good people, such good
pizza.
Let's not go out that far. Let's not say those words.
Yeah.
Because we're on the internet, this is libel. let's not For
those who don't know, this man will fight you for putting pineapple on your Hawaiian pizza. Pineapple and ham, that is a no-go.
Whoa, no.
What exactly was it that was on that pizza you tried?
It was a pineapple, curry.
When you say curry,
but shrimp and banana pizza.
I actually want to fight you now that you added banana. The rest of those things, I'm like, okay, I've had like, you know, sometimes you have a curry left over and you'll get some bread or something. That's pretty close.
And curry flavor is nice, isn't it? Yeah.
And then you add banana and I'm like, I actually want to throw hands.
Yeah. Well, see, this thing, I think you may have only watched the first half of it because there was a bit where I was like, I took a bite and I was like,
yeah,
it's actually not that bad. You know, it's actually not that bad.
That's
I took a second bite and it had banana in it. I was like, oh, what the fuck is this? Oh, get out, man. Yeah. So I was like, no, this is terrible. This is an abomination. but yeah, so the pizza, let's not put those words out there that the Swedes know about pizzas, okay?
Just going to say Sweden.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised that is their pizza choice because those guys couldn't tell that the Nazis were the bad guys in World War II. Just going to throw it out there. I'm not saying those two things are connected, but those two things are true.
We somehow always bring up
Moustache
Nazis.
Man, yeah.
Well, we can add that to the running of like not how many days has it been since we last spoke about Nazis? Back to 0. Someone needs to start a counter like that in the community. Like at episodes, back to 0.
What can you say? Look, if you're a fan, you bring up the content.
Exactly,
right?
Exactly. You know, it's just he had some good ideas. Okay, let's just leave it at that.
I saw the funniest TikTok, and it was a guy looking like shocked, and then it went to that, you know, that dude whose name I forget, and it was reading the paper after I come back from my time machine trip to the 1930s, stopping Adolf Hitler getting into art school so I don't have to study his crap paintings
Okay.
in college. So like he's the reason that he didn't get to art school.
Right, and so
he's like seeing the change that I made. Yeah.
Oh no, what did I do? That's hilarious.
It cracked me up. Anyway,
So
gaming.
This is a gaming podcast.
We do gaming.
And we talk about gaming, which is actually supported by our great patrons who support us over at patreon.com/Conbrosations. Oh boy, here we go.
That was a slash, not totally planned. The stunt went off.
You need to see that live if you're listening on the audio podcast, guys.
Audio virgins missed me punching my MacBook Pro in the face. That's what you get, Tim.
Patreon.com/Conbrosations, where you guys can kick us a couple of bucks a month to support the channel and help keep everything going. Like these great super bros are Isak the Ultimate Cumsock, My Juicy Left Nut, Sabine from Smallville, and Gamsmaster, the leader of the Empire, the fearless one, the great Lord Vader himself. Step cousin, who is really important. I mean, sometimes he shows up to the meetings, sometimes he shows up to the family gatherings.
Right.
He did turn up to a funeral one time, even though we asked him not to. But you know how it is. Like
It's a bit awkward telling someone to leave a funeral.
exactly. I mean, everyone was talking about him, but he didn't get the message. They think he'd leave by himself. But anywho, yeah, bro.
Yes.
Have you been playing any games recently?
I keep meaning to play or get through Jedi Survivor.
Yeah.
But every time I'm like, oh, I've got a bit of time, I find myself going back to Apex. Like if anybody's been looking at on Discord, like I'm on Apex all the time at the minute. I've got that competitive bug back. I mean, I know I've been talking about playing Apex recently, but it's just been scaling up. And also I'm improving again. So it's one of those things, you know what it was like when you were like at your peak playing COD? And you're like, yeah, I'm good. I'm better than average. I'm doing okay. I know what I'm doing. I'm sort of hitting that point again.
Lovely.
And I'm really liking being able to like, shit on kids. Frankly.
Someone clip that last bit out, please.
No, please don't.
Please do.
And I'm just finding it really satisfying. So Apex Legends, yeah. And
that's cool.
This is like the first game ever where I bought the Battle Pass.
Oh.
Yeah, I bought the Battle Pass and I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying like having something to grind for, and like, you know how back in the day with COD you'd like Black Ops 1, it was like the FAMAS.
Yeah.
You just have to run the FAMAS, and all you do is you play COD with the FAMAS, and that's that. Well, with the Battle Pass, like I now have reasons to pick up a sniper because I need to do 1,000 damage, or to do like a grenade-based character because I need to get grenade damage or something like that. And I'm experiencing a lot more of the game. I'm having a lot of fun.
Well, that's good to hear. I like the fact that you're enjoying some gaming.
Yeah, I do have an urge to get into a real game though. Like there's just, I mean, I guess I could replay Ghost of Tsushima.
Mate, that's never been a bad idea. That's never been a bad idea, and it's an idea that I have constantly as well.
But then I'm like, well, you've got Jedi Survivor to play, and I'm like, yeah, but also, I could just replay Ghost of Tsushima.
Japan needs saving.
Right, exactly. The Mongol horde is at the gates, What about you, man? What have you been playing?
So, I have actually actively been staying away from video games.
Okay.
And
look at me, I'm a father and a business owner.
Just before we move away from that, I wanted to show this. This is what I was looking through my phone for those of you guys that are looking on the video. An ad that popped up on my phone regarding people ditching WASD in mouse and keyboard.
Yeah.
So you know how we've said the mouse is fantastic.
Brilliant.
The best way to aim and shoot and everything
Without
like that. No one can attest that. The shitty part is the WASD on the side where you're like, the claw maneuver, shit like that. And it's not intuitive at all. Granted, you have lots of buttons, but not intuitive. And I found this. It was like essentially half of like a controller with like buttons on there with a joystick and stuff like that, being able to sprint, etc. And then you still have the mouse on the other hand.
This feels like hacking.
It does feel like hacking. It's like, when you used to get modded controllers back in the day for Call of Duty.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. And that's what it's like. See, it's not just me. Everyone fucking does it. It's got a joystick with 20 inputs as well on there, so you can map tons of stuff.
Inputs.
Exactly. So this PC gamers, I've been saying it for ages. Just accept it. Accept that you guys are not superior. You guys are
It's definitely
inferior.
the worst input for like the movement stuff. Also,
Like the Steam Deck, when it came out, why didn't it just have a WASD on the side, like a fucking keyboard on the side of it? It's because it's awful.
because it sucks.
No one likes it.
It's terrible, and it's not. It doesn't help for like feeling immersed because you're like click. I don't know. Just it's not interactive.
Yeah.
I will say, I'm not doing it, but a little bit of me wants to buy, a controller with the back paddles again.
Yeah.
And that
I've thought about that many times.
That is the sort of thing that it's not hacking, like it's totally legal. But like it gives you such a massive advantage, and that's 2 additional buttons. Imagine you had 20. This is the best of both worlds. You get rid of the keyboard, stupid.
Exactly. Throw it away. Just take it off and throw it away.
Yeah, just
you need
throw
it
it
for
away.
nothing else.
Yeah, don't even unplug it. Just snip the cable straight through, mains power.
And if your computer just suddenly turns off, don't worry about it. Nothing to do with it.
I mean, one of 3 things happen. You get rid of a keyboard. Okay, great.
yeah.
You get rid of yourself. You're a PC gamer. It doesn't.
So only an addition to the world. It's like, oh, great.
Yeah, the net
world isn't
positive
done.
to the world. Or you get rid of a PC,
Oh.
and obviously by default the keyboard. So there's no downsides.
That's the holy trinity right there.
There's no downsides.
So I've been actively trying not to game.
Yeah.
Only reason was because Baldur's Gate came out on PC, right?
Yeah.
And I was this close to buying it.
I'm like on the edge.
It's so bad,
I'm
isn't
on
it?
the edge.
It's so bad. I'm so close to buying it. Everyone's saying it's amazing. It's apparently such a great time, and I've enjoyed D&D from the outside.
Yeah.
All this time, just haven't got the time to play it, and also you need a ton of friends to be able to do it, and you need them to be on your time schedule.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm a shitty person like that, so I was like, okay, it's never gonna happen. So that's how close I was. And leading up to this trip to Sweden, I was like, I can't buy Baldur's Gate, play it for 3 days straight, and then when I get back, Starfield's gonna come out, and then I've got other games that I want to play, etc. I'm not gonna get any time, so I had to actively avoid gaming for that time.
Baldur's Gate has a co-op mode.
Don't say these words to me.
I took this coming week off for my birthday. All I'm saying is I have had one campaign of actual Dungeons and Dragons. We play every other week. We've been doing that since pretty much lockdown in COVID. So that's 25, 75, literally hundreds of hours.
Yeah.
With what effectively amounted to strangers on the internet who are like, I love these guys to bits. If you are like, do you want to invest 100 hours next week plus 50 quid or whatever it costs? I guess we could maybe do that.
You think maybe we could?
I reckon I could squeeze it in.
This
Also,
sounds really alluring. I'm not gonna lie.
weirdly as well, it's one of those games where, so my brother has a terrible ancient gaming PC. So he bought it off Amazon ages ago. Not a good idea. And he's been saying he's been having incredible fun with it. And this is a computer that like he has to leave. Back when you played zombies, you had to leave like a PlayStation on.
Yeah.
Because you didn't want to lose the round or something.
Yeah.
If it will run the game, he has to leave it on. If the game goes off, it may not run it. It might take him 3 or 4 hours to get the inside. So he's really struggling to. Once he plays, and it. Terrible graphics and all that stuff from his PC, and he's like, I love it, it's so much fun and it's so good looking, and it looks like it's terrible
Because of the PC.
yeah.
Being held together by duct tape.
Funnily enough, I walked into the room where he was playing it, and he'd loaded into a new screen, and all the like character models were doing like Redfall, where they were like not even stepping down the stairs. I was like, oh, that's not good. This is not what I've been led to believe. It's like, no, it's loading in. Once it's loaded in all the assets, they'll start walking. Like, that's how bad it is. So the game is fine. It's his rig.
His rig is
It's
so
100%
bad.
his rig. And he's like, I was like, how are you playing this? He was like, oh, it's so good. It's so good. He was like, I've got 2 other playthroughs I'm starting because I missed an option at the beginning and I didn't realize you could romance this one person. And he was like, I had to start the whole thing from the beginning. My main campaign had to start all over because he had the early access from like 2020.
Yeah, you said it's
And
differed.
they changed it. They were like, well, we can't recycle content. So he's gone back. It's like, it's all different. So I had to play it all because he blasted through it. He wasn't paying attention.
The PC thing where you said, well, like, basically it's not working until it does work.
Yeah.
Kind of sounds like a meth addict. It's like, no, I know, like, I've got this, like, really, really, like, searing out pain in my ear right now, but
once
it will
I get
settle
some
down.
meth,
It will settle down in a second, and I'll be in like amazing. Like I'll be high as a kite. Don't worry about it. It sounds like.
It's like I know I don't have any teeth, but soup is so good.
You know, they just get in the way of the food. Really,
It's true.
think about it. Your mouth is here. What's in
Anything you
between?
need to chew
Teeth.
is actually a choking hazard.
Facts. We
Health and safety.
We on this channel support meth addicts.
Meth Man supports his approves this message.
Bro,
Yes.
let's talk about our first topic.
Lovely.
Let's talk about our first topic, which is Starfield. Starfield has now released, as of the time of recording this podcast, on early access. So you had to have bought the premium edition in order to get it. A bunch of reviewers got their copies early, and a bunch of reviewers did not get their copies early. They were very selective as to who's going to get them, and some big outlets like Eurogamer, some like very well-known names were left off of those lists. And what's really funny is that there are some some content creators, but some people who are not content creators who are just the worst, most toxic experts online that obviously Phil Spencer follows and stuff like that. They were given codes and not the great Get Eurogamer, for example, or VGC or whatever it was.
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
How do you feel about that? Because a little bit of me is like, oh my god, I can't believe Eurogamer didn't get a code. Another bit of me is like, frick Eurogamer. And frick these games journalists.
I said this is the exact same thing. So Eurogamer and Digital Foundry are actually part of the same company. Digital Foundry works within Eurogamer. Digital Foundry got a copy, but Eurogamer did not.
I feel really comfortable with that.
Well, this is what I said. I was like, I feel like Digital Foundry are known for their rock solid, unbiased like analysis of the technical side, scientifically proving everything, and then showing their findings. I
go horseshoe opposite.
It's a paper.
They're known for being aggressively only interested in what it can do.
Exactly.
They don't care if it's PlayStation. They don't care if it's Xbox. They don't care if it's PC. No. They just want to know what's going to mess it up. How hard can we push it?
Exactly.
How hot will the thing get if we push everything to max? Like that.
They're nerds for that shit. They'll be like, oh, they're using, I'm going to make up some letters and numbers, SS6I FF2R technology on their shaders for the shadows. And they're like, oh, this is great.
That's an interesting decision with DDR5 RAM.
Exactly.
What happens if...
Exactly. That's what they do. And I said in a tweet, I was like...
I feel much more comfortable
I feel like they got theirs because they produce scientific truths and post those findings. That's all they do. Whereas when you give it to a reviewer, their own biases, their own personal opinions, and also journalists tend to want to just be edgy to try and make a name for themselves. So I can understand why they did that. And then there's the opposite argument where it's like, well, why wouldn't you just give it to everyone and then just let everyone make their decision, and then it should, in the laws of averages, balance out to a number.
I'm going to say I think it's kind of hilarious that they didn't give it to everybody. I'm pro this move just because that's kind of funny.
It is kind of funny, isn't it?
And because Digital Foundry got it. Like that, if it had been like Digital Foundry didn't get it, but Eurogamer did, I'd be like, sus.
Like, what the fuck are you doing
That's
there?
weird.
But these guys just produced the truth.
Yeah. Also, I'm pretty sure I've seen a few videos where Digital Foundry have released stuff and then other people have come back saying, I did it like this and that didn't happen. And they've tested it and gone, actually, when we do it like that, it doesn't happen. Or we don't know why that didn't happen for you because here's us doing the test and that didn't happen for us.
They very much are like that. I've seen multiple times. I think it's John Lineman or whatever his name is. He's always on Twitter and he's always talking about like the very fine details of things. Like someone brings up a point and he's like, well, we did it like this. If you test it on that, blah, blah, blah. It's all absolutely amazing.
It's pretty close to the sort of complaints we hear when people turn up to the Sony deep dives. It's like this is not gaming. This is hardcore tech nerd shit.
Yes.
And Digital Foundry very much the same sort of way.
So, having said all of that, the game has released on Metacritic at an 87 out of 100. So 8.7 out of 10. Which is not a bad score, actually.
I actually feel really good about that.
That's actually really respectable.
I would be genuinely suspect if it was like 93 plus.
Well,
Again, this is Metacritic. This is for us, right? Pretend
we said on the last podcast how we feel about Metacritic. Yeah. It's just really to like try and gauge, but there are games on there that'll be a 6 that you'll absolutely adore. There'll be a game on there that's a 10 that you'll be like, fuck this crap. So
and I think the fact that it's an 87, which is good, but it's not like incredible. That feels like it might be fair.
Yeah.
That's like, okay, it's a good game. It's not the best. It's got some issues, but it's good.
Well, here's the thing.
Oh, no.
It might not be.
Oh, no.
This is totally... So from here on out is speculation, right? We don't know what the scores are going to be like once those bigger outlets get their scores.
True.
Because IGN gave it a 7 out of 10. And one other, GameSpot, also gave it a 7 out of 10. Now, that's IGN and GameSpot. They are the laughingstock of games journalism. But then again, all games journalists are the laughingstock of games. So take it as you will. But someone with that big of a pedigree and that much of a relationship and that much of a dependency on Xbox and stuff like that, they weren't afraid of giving a lower score.
Seven's still okay.
Seven's still okay.
Hold on.
It's
if
their
it was
game.
us, if we gave you a 7, this is a game that's worth your money. You can play it.
Yes.
Like, it's not a bad way to spend your money. You might not enjoy it, but it's a good game.
Yes.
IGN giving it a 7. I don't know how to feel about that, because I do genuinely believe that actually these games companies, journalist companies, have a 1 to 3 scale that starts at like a 7 or a 6.5 and goes up to a 10. Yeah. You know? So 7 might be kind of damning.
It kind of is. And let me read you a little bit of what they wrote here. Where's IGN's numbers? I'll read you GameSpot's little excerpt here. Make this bigger. I'm too old to read small writing like this. Okay. Starfield has its moments for sure. Its satisfying gunplay makes combat exciting, especially when it's integrated into set pieces with its better, more captivating quest lines. And although limited in its conception of space exploration, there's a novelty in poking around in the galaxy to see a star systems up close and personal, and occasionally finding a side quest content that's worth chasing. However, it struggles to deliver a cohesive and memorable RPG experience amid the seemingly boundless sea of stars. For all of its can you read that word for reverences? It's there.
Reverences.
I think that's a word. I've heard it before.
Well, they've used that word. It's there, and you've read it on the internet. Now it's real.
For scientific philosophy, its stories and characters paint a rather tame and sterile vision for what our spacefaring future could look like. When you take a trip. When you stripped Starfield down to its essentials, it relies on a tried and true, but well-treated formula while missing some of the depth of the games that came before. Starfield is a game more concerned with quantity than quality and leaves the experience at surface level. And IGN's one was very similar as well, saying that the universe felt a mile wide but like an inch deep.
That's one of the things we were concerned about. No,
and it turns out we're kind of true about that.
Yeah, I mean, pound the back, we've been right about everything Xbox for like 5 years.
Yeah.
But up until that last sort of sentence where it being like, basically there's nothing here.
Yeah.
I wasn't too fussed. Like the idea that, it feels like real. Yeah. Okay. Oh no, realism. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it didn't set itself out as a God of War or a Cyberpunk. It set itself out as the year is 2045.
Yeah.
No, sci-fi. Wait. 2445.
So you're 15 years away.
Yeah. Elon has bought NASA and, right? Like, here you go. Okay, cool. Like, that's one of the things we were saying, that trailer. We were like, this looks really good. This looks like the sort of thing an astronaut or a spaceship would be made from. It looks right. It feels right. So that's something I was sort of expecting.
So what I got from... I watched a couple of reviews.
Yeah.
I tried to go to a couple of different sources. Some people who are diehard BGS fans, Bethesda Game Studios fans, and people who like Bethesda Game Studios but aren't really like as diehard as you think. They like to branch out to other games and whatnot. It did seem very much like the people who are BGS fans, diehard ones, they're the ones that are like all the stuff that aren't lining up with what they were saying in the promo material and the trailers, which I'll detail in a minute, by the way. I've got some points here. that didn't matter to me anyway. I wasn't looking forward to that anyway. I was looking forward to essentially some of the stuff that we do in Skyrim, but in a space setting.
Space Skyrim.
Right. And in
Or space Fallout.
and in Skyrim, you're not like, I mean, you're traveling in like a location and whatnot, and you can go from like town to town and stuff like that. That's about as far as it, and that's all they wanted.
Yeah. And it's empty in between, in fairness. It's like a forest and a road, but yeah.
And that's what they got, and they're happy with that. Now, there are people that aren't so like willing to forgive everything in terms of like, it's a modern game. It's supposed to be a bit more modern. There's supposed to be advancements.
It has to compete with like Halo and stuff like that from 10 years ago, 15 years ago.
Other games that are like doing much better things and stuff like that. Those people didn't have as much love for the game as they said. And I wrote down a couple of points here for us to go over, just if you want to take a look at them.
Definitely.
Just so you know, I'm going to preface all of this. These things that I mentioned here do not mean that you can still not enjoy this game. If you still play this game and you still enjoy it, no problem. Totally fine. I'm not going to try and take that away from you. You're having fun. Enjoy yourself.
That's the point of games.
Exactly. But there are these points that... These are the ones that stuck out to me. It was like, that's a really good thing. So... They're saying, some of these people are saying that Starfield seems big, but mostly it seems big because when you get onto a planet, let's say, there are no land vehicles, there are no mounts, and there's no in-atmosphere flying of your ship. So you're walking everywhere. That's why it feels like, oh, you're taking forever, because you're on foot.
It's not big. It just takes a long time to get across a small place. Yeah.
Exactly. It's like... Even in a small town within, let's say, Red Dead Redemption, if you're traveling by foot, it still feels big, but that's it. That's not like it doesn't mean that you're traveling the entire universe. It just means it's taking you a long time to get there.
I'm with you.
There is a lot of openness as well, a lot of emptiness, which adds to the whole feeling like it's taking long because there's just no stimulation coming in. And people
no
think
landmarks and
exactly. And even though that the planets, they seem big when you've landed and you're exploring, there are boundaries. There are invisible walls that you can't go past. So some people are saying like it differs between like 5 to 10 to 15 minutes when you travel in one sort of direction, and then you hit a sign where it says you've hit a boundary, return back to ship or something like that, which kind of takes away from the whole... Oh, you're a space explorer. You can explore anywhere. And Pete Hines did actually make a tweet on Twitter saying, "Oh, someone asked when you land on a planet, can you just explore?" And they're like, "Yeah, just keep exploring and go wild and whatnot," indicating that you can just walk all the way around the planet.
It's like Minecraft; it will just keep generating stuff in front of you. No, it won't.
No. Even in Minecraft, though, I mean, I swear, isn't that like a limited area and whatnot? They make like a map size. I'm not allowed.
I don't know.
Minecraft thing. All of the spots that you land on a planet are like designated and a specific map size, and they don't correlate to each other. So say if you land on certain place and you see like a big like mountain thing in the distance and whatnot, you obviously can't go to it because there's limitations to how far you can go. If you then get up into your ship and then fly over to the next like area over, the closest possible area over, you can't then look back in that direction and see that thing. They're not continuous. They're completely self-contained and separate and different from each other.
They're new maps. You have to load in a brand new map that doesn't interact with the other map.
Which is a little bit shit because...
Well, it's not like it's playing on a PS5. You can't expect...
Which is a little bit shit in my opinion. I feel like there should be some continuity there. I get it. Granted, you're never going to go to that thing. You can't go to that thing. So what's the point? But... it seems a little bit shitty that way. The best compliment that I've heard so far is that it's quite well polished for a BGS game. There are people... I've seen a bunch of people reporting quest-breaking bugs that show NPCs going through ceilings and going through the floors.
Not interested. Don't care about that. First week. It's not even officially released yet.
Well, these are the ones that are trying to say that break quests, because they're like, oh, it's a person I need to speak to. They've gone through the floor. I can't get them and whatnot.
I'll be honest, for me that's a non-issue. It's like not even the first week. We're expecting patches and stuff.
It's true, and they have said they are, and previous Bethesda games have done better once even after the first patch and stuff like that.
So for me that's not even worth talking about.
That's fine.
In defense of, and I'm gonna be honest, I feel like shitting all over this game. None of this sounds good, but that doesn't count to me.
Okay. The space exploration in space is entirely false. So when you are up in space, when you're loaded into an area, say like in a solar system next to Jupiter, let's say, there's something over there, and then you're like, oh, I can see one of the moons, I can see this, I can see that. You in your spaceship cannot go to those ships. When you are boosting towards them, you are not moving in space.
You're on tracks.
You're not on tracks. You are fixed in one point in space. They do the whole thing where it's like, you know, your instrument cluster moves a little bit like that to make it seem like you're moving forward. But that planet does not get any closer. And if you turn around, it does not get any further away. You're fixed in one point in space. So basically, the whole scenery around you is just a giant panoramic picture that you're just looking at that looks kind of beautiful. Kind of takes away from the whole space exploration thing, and that kind of
seems like they missed the point.
That was the biggest. That was the biggest thing that I saw here. That was like, that's taken my excitement down just a little bit. Not that I felt like I needed to land on that planet, even though other games do that. Like, I think, I'm not sure if Star Citizen does it, but No Man's Sky does it, for example, where you can go straight down from space onto the planet, land, and walk around. Cool. Not that I wanted to do that, but if I'm in space, I should be.
Mass Effect.
You can? There you go. That's another thing.
Old.
Exactly. I was hoping maybe, like, you know, if we're in a battle between other people, for example, then I can maybe take cover, go around the planet or something like that.
Or a moon or...
whatever it might be.
Yeah, that's no moon.
And that's...
Sorry.
Son of a bitch.
Sorry.
And that's disappointing to me. I would have... It's the illusion of a space exploration. Really, then, if you take out the space part, which is there is no exploration in that, then it's planet exploration on random barren planets with barely anything on them. It doesn't really scream like, yeah.
I do feel like we need to wait a week for people to find stuff that there may well be unlock things that just these guys haven't found.
This is another point. This is, again, first day of the game releasing. Granted, these people have had it for 2 weeks before. They have been playing it a lot because it's the upcoming hot release and whatnot. Yeah. So
these guys aren't me. They're not turning over every rock because it's shiny.
They're not us. And there might even be someone listening right now. It's like, I've been doing so much cool stuff. I wish I could tell you right now. Feel free to tell us in the next episode and we can talk about it. That's something there. Apparently the game is basically loading screen simulator. When you are in your ship in space and you want to go down to land on a planet, there's a loading screen. When you are coming out of your ship, there's a loading screen. When you go into a town, like say the main town, I forgot what they call it, New Atlantis, there's a loading screen. Like that when you go into a building, there's a loading screen. When you go into another part of a room which your like quest objective is in, there's a loading screen.
I'm gonna need to see someone stream this. I want to watch someone do
the loading screens. I will tell you aren't very long. They're between like 2 to 5 seconds.
That's not too bad.
But there are loading screens for everything,
and that breaks immersion quite aggressively, I would say.
The loading screens are one thing as well, but do you know what people have been saying a lot of? You know, there was that shot when they first announced, when they first let us know that you won't actually be able to pilot your ship down to a surface.
Yeah.
There's that, the ship's coming down and it's really cool and you're like, oh, awesome. It takes about like 15 seconds for it to like drop down like that in an awesome way. Think about that every single time you're going down to any sort of planet to get any resources, to do any sort of exploring, to find any sort of cool side quest.
That annoyed me in Death Stranding. You know, we're going up and down the elevator.
Oh. Yeah. I mean, the only thing that was cool about that was that sometimes it was different.
Yes,
sometimes there was cool things. You were like,
Yeah, exactly.
But this one is just like,
there's a plant on this planet. Oh, it's a desert on this planet. Oh, there's water on this planet. Oh, it's raining on this planet.
As cool as it is, after the 10th time, after the 20th time, it's probably not going to be as cool.
It does sound like this, the whole exploration part of it, the open world, free roam part of it was just sort of phoned in.
Very oversold. Very oversold.
It sounds like a game that would have dominated 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But it's not 10 years ago. It's now.
Someone actually said, it was Legacy Killer HD, I think it was. I watched his review and he said, this is a good step for Bethesda Game Studios.
Yeah.
However, if you held this same standard up to other people, other studios, like a Rockstar, for example, it wouldn't fly at all. This would be a definite step backwards. Definitely be very outdated. That's unfortunately what it is. And it's the same thing that happened with Fallout 4, where they made Fallout 4 and it was like, why does this just feel like Fallout 3 but with just a slightly higher resolution?
Yeah.
Oh wait, other games have happened in that time. That's so strange.
Do you remember between Black Ops 1 and Modern Warfare 3?
Yeah.
The Modern Warfare 2 had terrible communication in-game voice chat. Black Ops came out and it had really good in-game voice chat.
Yes.
And then MW3 came out, and as far as they were concerned, there was only one other game, which is MW2, so it had the same system, and it was terrible.
That was amazing how they did that.
It was awful, and it was like immediately picked up by everyone. They got lashed for that.
Yeah.
And it sort of feels like that. And here is my key takeaway. Phil Spencer's going to go, look, see, I told you, we made an incredible game. No, you didn't. And nobody sold their PS5 to buy an Xbox to play Starfield. Well, what you actually did is you sold Cyberpunk as we were expecting it, delivered Cyberpunk as it came out, and then complained that no one liked the game.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like is going to happen. And like, I want Starfield to be good. I really want it to be good. But I'm sorry, it sounds like the people that say it's amazing, say that it's great, are just retro gamers. Like, oh, it's a great Bethesda game. I wasn't looking for a main character to talk and no loading screens. Like, I playing Pokemon Blue on a black and white Game Boy. Like, okay, great, good for you. But I want to play God of War.
I was gonna say a lot of people were saying that in those reviews. The people who are hardcore BGS fans, they were like. They were using the example of Fallout 4, though, which is the stupidest thing, in my opinion. They were like, they've opted to go for a voiceless protagonist, which adds to the immersion of the playing of the game from the character, versus what Fallout 4 was, where they had a voice. And I was like, yeah, but don't compare it to a prior. Don't compare it to a failure. Compare it to something good. Compare it to Red Dead Redemption 2.
Mass Effect. Let's take this, like, Red Dead, Mass Effect. What doesn't have a voiced protagonist at this point?
Exactly.
The Witcher, right? Like, probably the pinnacle of look what a small company at the time can do when they just make a great game, focus on great storytelling. You know, like, and also Geralt specifically, and this I think is why we should stick with Geralt. Specifically, has an uncomfortable to listen to voice. Like he's not soothing. This isn't an ASMR type voice.
Yeah.
He's specifically harsh, and it's not nice to listen to his voice, but you care because you care about the character. You care about the, like, no one's going to be like, oh, The Witcher 3 isn't good because Geralt has a voice. What? Also, that argument, I will say, I don't find that it makes much sense because you don't get to choose language options. Yeah. They provide them for you. So all you have to do is read instead of having someone say it.
Yeah.
How is that better? Yeah, so no, I don't buy that argument.
I don't buy it either. Couple more little points here. They were saying that one guy did a very nerdy, highly autistic level of analysis here, and in the first couple of hours, first 20 hours, I should say, he ticked off how many times he had found a certain type of location during quests and during side missions and exploring, and he found out that there's a lot of recycled locations in a lot of parts of the universe that you're in Starfield, which felt very copy pasty. He meant, like, there was one, for example, that he showed me that it was like a mining colony that had been set up, and there was a bunch of enemies down there, a bunch of pirates trying to steal all these minerals. All of the enemies were exactly the same in all of the locations, and in one of them, he went, oh, cool, let me just go down to the bottom over here, see what's at the bottom of this shaft. It seems really interesting to find out.
Always go to the bottom of the shaft.
Always the bottom of the shaft, that's our recommendation. And then he found this really cool skeleton that had been uncovered, and it was like almost like a dinosaur alien skeleton.
Cool,
and he was like, oh, that's awesome.
That's very interesting. Yeah.
And then he found that that's the same at the bottom of every single one of the shafts, on every single one of the locations, on every one of the planets that he went to.
Oh, sick.
The exact same skeleton at the bottom with all of this. And it was just copy and pasted, and it felt very low effort, very
that is
uninspired.
Very low effort. That sounds very Bethesda, very Microsoft, very Xbox. That's really disappointing.
And then the one final thing is that they said is that inventory menus are completely terrible. They're completely incomprehensible. They're like, everyone's been saying that you need to overhaul them completely. In the next patch, they need to work something out about that, completely redo them. And when you're on a planet, for some reason, you've got no map. When you're on a planet, like, and say like you're at New Atlantis, for example, which is like the hub world and whatnot, you go there, you've got no map, so you have no idea where any of the vendors are.
Oh, sick.
You're like, cool, vendor, where the fuck are you? There's people, you're just going up to them. No, that's a citizen. No, that's a citizen. No, that's a citizen. That's a vendor. Oh, but that's a different vendor.
Food vendor, I need a...
God damn.
I will
So
say,
that's
so
pretty
the
short.
map thing is disappointing, but like hot fixable. Like, it's probably supposed to be there and just for some reason isn't.
Something went wrong there, because surely they didn't get down and go, oh, I'm going to test the game. I need to go to the so-and-so vendor. I know exactly where it is, and everyone will know as soon as they pick up the game.
Yeah, exactly. So like, I'm willing
Surely.
to, like, I'm more than happy to forgive that. I'm more than happy to forgive the, you know, the NPC with the game-breaking bugs. Like, that's obviously going to get fixed in its first week.
Yeah.
And what was the other thing you just said? There was one
The
other thing.
recycled locations.
No, there was one maybe before or maybe after
The space exploration that isn't really space.
that.
It's just a
That's
picture.
unforgivable.
The level, the bugs I said.
Or
The boundaries.
Last two or three.
The last two, so the inventory and menus.
Oh, and the inventory, yes.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
willing to forgive that because, again, that will be fixed probably very soon.
Hopefully.
You would think.
I mean, they launched the game this way, so I mean, and they haven't said anything.
There'll be
about
enough
it.
people complaining about it. That'll be fixed. Like,
Hope so.
I'm trying to be as fair as possible for this game. It's still going to suck. Called it, unfortunately. I want it to be good. I'll forgive the bugs. That'll get fixed. I'll forgive the no map. That'll be fixed probably immediately. And I'll forgive the menus. Like, either you'll get used to it or, you know, like, as somebody that always struggles with games, because I will go 10 levels in before I read a single tutorial. I don't care. I want to play the game. And this always happens to me is I'm getting my shit pushed in. I'm getting fucked by everything I'm fighting. And then I'll go, fine, I'll read the thing, and I've got 15 spec points to spend. And then suddenly it's back to being like easy again. Right? That's just how I play. I need to get better at it, but I just want to play, right? So as someone that will specifically be really badly damaged by the fact that those menus suck because I won't read the tutorials until I like just have to, I'm still going to forgive it because it will likely get changed. They'll likely either put in a better tutorial, better system.
Hope so.
And yet the things, because you can forgive all of these things if you can just explore. Like GTA, how old is Vice City? You can just drive around Vice City as far as you want, right? As long as the map is there, you can get there and explore it. Let's go something a bit more modern. Same studio. Red Dead Redemption 2, God of War, Ghost of Tsushima. Like, and I'm not saying this game needs to be compared to Ghost of Tsushima or God of War. I'm saying that here are games that are 5 years younger, or came 5 years beforehand.
Yeah.
Whose load, like, I would go as far as to say the load times in Ghost of Tsushima, especially on a PS5, are unsettling.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of annoying.
They're like fast travel. Jeez, I'm there already.
Multiple times when I died in combat, I'd be back in combat too fast and would get hurt again because I wasn't. I
haven't settled yet. You
Yeah,
took your hand off the controller.
I'm expecting a load screen. You just boom, you straight back in because it's optimized. And I appreciate that, you know, yeah, they only make for PlayStation, but like, come on, you could optimize for an Xbox.
Yeah, all of this, the loading screens is part of it, as this conversation as well. It's really taken the wind out of my sails because
I wanted this to be so good.
If the idea was the thing that I was most excited about, I should say, was being a space explorer. I even made that video about the feeling of being a space explorer.
Yeah.
I thought that the trailer conveyed quite well that you were going to be a space explorer. And I was like, wow, this seems pretty cool. Not many games do that. I would really like to be that. When the space part is just a picture in space and your ship doesn't move anywhere, when the planets are barren and don't really have anything on there, no point to them really existing other than some minerals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
For the vast majority, not everything. Then it's like, I'm not really exploring space. There are
No, it's phoned in.
I've heard from some people there are some nice side quests that are very exciting and very cool, and I'm like, cool, that's really awesome, and I can't wait to try those out. the main story they said is intriguing enough, but people haven't been waving the flag about it.
Like,
So
the
I'm
story's
gonna
so amazing. Oh my god!
right.
Yeah.
One person told me that apparently it lasts about 18 hours for the main story if you gun it.
Okay.
Isn't too bad. I'm not too fussed on the. I'm not here for like a 1,000-hour RPG like some people are. But to be fair, when you're in these kind of RPGs, you're doing other things other than the story to get to that time. That's cool with me. But I was really hoping to be some sort of space explorer, and I can't. There's nothing. It seems to be there's nothing worth to explore on the planet.
Yeah.
For the most part, there's probably some things, but not everything. And in space, you can't explore.
Yeah. I mean, like, let's compare.
And then the optimization thing, like you was gonna say, like this doesn't seem that ambitious for you not to be able to optimize. Right.
Like,
it doesn't.
Let's be honest. From if this is all true, then it's not ambitious. Let's say that.
It seemed like they were aiming for something much higher, or at least what they told us. And then the result was, let's say that the story's great and the RPG part of it is great. A great RPG, but just set in a very small place. And the exploration part, if it's not that big, if it's not that ambitious, then why couldn't it be optimized to get 60 FPS, to get no loading screens, or to make maybe even the flying down to the planet a cool thing, or flying even in the planet when you're in the atmosphere.
Let's compare it to a few similar styles. The sort of games they said it was going to be able to like go head to head with, right? The Witcher 3, 2015. Cyberpunk, what's that, 2020? Red Dead Redemption 2, that's 2018. And let's say, like, Horizon, Zero Dawn.
Zero Dawn, yeah.
Yeah, let's say Zero Dawn. So that's 2019?
2017?
Older. My point is I'm trying to keep them relatively old.
Yeah.
But all of those games have not so savage load screens.
Yep.
Truly open worlds. You can explore them. I mean, like Horizon is like dinosaur apocalypse, robo dinosaur apocalypse. The point of it is exploring the world, right? And let's not even forget Forbidden West is like incredible. The fact that you can fly and stuff. Yeah, let's take that out.
That sense of exploration that you get in there is kind of what I was expecting in terms of space.
Just in space, yeah.
And there's nothing like that. It's completely void of that.
And it's frustrating to me that The Witcher 3, which is 8 years old now, I can add, 8, 5 plus 3, 8, coming up to 9 years old, is bigger, better, has probably almost certainly gonna have a better story. Forget the NPC and the menus and stuff. Like, we'll presume that gets fixed. Why can't this game compete with a game from 2015?
Yeah.
And in fairness, I do want to say, I know that everybody holds up The Witcher 3 as the example, but Cyberpunk, which I didn't think was fantastic, is better than, by the sounds, than this. You know, I can explore in it. And again, I'm forgiving bugs. Like, forget bugs. I get it. It was a buggy mess. We had problems with it. But Zero Dawn and Forbidden West, like, I'm sorry, those blow this out of the water. Elden Ring, you know, and the reason I bring up Elden Ring, not because it's like, oh, it broke records and stuff, but it's a FromSoft game. It's like this tiny, relatively speaking, this tiny little dev house relative, like, who make, again, they make similar stuff. Their IPs are very much what they make, and this is very much what Bethesda makes. Why has it not improved? Because obviously something about Elden Ring has improved on the mix, you know? Like, it's super disappointing, and there are two key takeaways for me, which is, one, Phil Spencer's going to be buoyed up by proving that he was right, except you made a crap game. I hope it's not crap, but it seems like it's just not going to be able to hang with these guys. And then, two, what I genuinely want to know, like, what's going to happen with these Xbots? That were like, wait until, like, are we going to see...
What's the next thing that they're going to say? Because everything was riding on Starfield, and...
Yeah. Well, it was pretty good. Yeah, but there's in the time that it took for you to get a pretty good game, there have been dozens of amazing games.
Yeah.
And not just on PlayStation. You know, like...
Everywhere.
And your guys who own some incredible IPs and have incredible talent in those companies have made shit. Like, and I don't mean bad. I mean, they just haven't made you anything. Nothing of consequence. Like, a little bit of me hopes that they all go, do you know what? This really isn't good. Let's just buy PlayStations. And it's the last nail in the coffin for
Unfortunately,
for Xbox.
no.
But that isn't what's going to happen. They're going to get as toxic as possible.
Snip right here for just a second. Hello? Yeah, actually, do you mind bringing it up? Could you please, because I'm on the camera. We've got a special delivery.
Okay.
All right, bye. This is going to come up in a second. Don't worry about it. That's going to be something for later. Sorry to cut you off there, bro.
All good. I have no idea what I was saying.
Let me tell you what I was going to say then. So, while I've laid out all of that bad stuff, I do want to talk about some of the good stuff here.
Yeah.
And I'm going to kick it over to our boy. Thank you so much.
I'm literally like coughing now.
We're on the 3rd floor. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay. I want to kick it over to our boy because I did put out on Twitter to ask people what's your experience with Starfield? Can you give us some points? How do you feel?
Do we know someone that's played it?
We do.
Okay.
And people that are watching the show and stuff like that. And however, Twitter is kind of
We're a
limiting.
big deal. I forgot how big of a deal we were. Of course.
Well, I am. I don't know about you.
The guys at Digital Foundry, what did they think?
Twitter is obviously limited in characters, so you got to keep it short and sweet. Cal at Bala Speaks says it's tight and fun ride so far. Definitely the best stay a Bethesda game has released in years. Which, as I said, a lot of people say that's what they're saying. Like, not exactly great for a game, but Bethesda game, which is Bethesda going in the right direction, at least. That's what I want to say there.
That's a very optimistic way to look at this.
Exactly.
That's good.
Definitely some shortcomings, but anyone who has expected No Man's Sky level of seamlessness alongside Bethesda-length RPG story had their expectations set way too high. I'm glad you're enjoying it, bro. And don't take anything I say from here on out personally, because I do want to set your thing here. The expectations set way too high.
Wasn't us that set them.
That's the point I want to make.
Yeah.
A lot of people had their expectations set where we set them with this space exploration and stuff like that. A lot of people that I watched reviews of also said the same thing. They were like, I've gone back and I've had a look at what Todd Howard
Imagine
and
No
P.
Man's
Hines
Sky
saying.
meets Skyrim.
That's exactly what I said.
Literally, almost exactly word for, paraphrasing.
What it is that Todd Howard is a perfect fit for Xbox, is a perfect fit for Phil Spencer in how vague they are with specifics and the calculated words they say. And some of these guys were like, I can't believe I didn't see this when it happened, because they're not saying you can just fly anywhere. They're not saying you can travel anywhere you want. They're not saying that the point of this game is to be a space
set in space.
Exactly. It's just the impression they were giving from the words they were putting around. And they didn't correct the record. And they let you be the problem so they can then make sales. Exactly. That's what it was. And
they overpromise and underdeliver, and everybody else just delivers good games or underpromises and overdelivers.
This is the thing. It's not necessary.
By the way, this is nothing you, bro. We're just saying the expectations being set way too high were not by us. We were led to believe, and I wanted this game to be, the No Man's Sky meets Skyrim. That would be amazing.
However, it isn't, is it? That's what we're supposed to do. Now, I do want to take this moment to point out some good stuff that I heard in these reviews. Surprisingly, the gunplay is apparently really good.
I was really worried about that.
I was super worried about that.
Yeah.
And
well, that's good.
And it's fantastic. They say the guns feel great. It feels the video I've seen, it looks very nice and doesn't feel choppy at all like it was in some of the gameplays that we saw before. I was like, thank Jesus, because that's a core part of the game that you're going to be playing. And if it's shit, that's going to feel really crap.
I mean, if it has a good combat system, because that's one of the things. If the combat system was not good, like let's say it just departs from everything Bethesda and it just wasn't good and fun, then at your core, your stuff doesn't work. But you can change the stuff around it. So, like, you were saying the dinosaur bones at the bottom of those mines.
Yeah.
Like, that's something you can patch.
Yeah.
You can change, like, one's an alien egg, one's, you can do stuff. You can, if they all have the same mine design, you can change those things in later patches. It sucks that that wasn't done before, but we can do these things. We can change
But we do have to judge it on the product they've given us, though.
Totally agreed. But benefit of the doubt, like, the combat is good, and like one of my complaints is like the Last of Us. This the first one, the original. There's 4 enemies, and yeah, they dress in different clothes, and like some of the humans have different weapons, but there's 4 enemies basically, and they all act the same. But if in this there are multiple enemies, but they just all look the same, like you can change that up. That's changeable. Like these are things where it sucks now, but once all this feedback hits them and they change it, we could end up with like Cyberpunk now is good.
I'm less forgiving of it, unfortunately.
How am I the optimistic?
I know this is so strange. Sometimes
I want Starfield to be good for 2 reasons. One, I love sci-fi, and 2, it's actually needed. Yeah. Xbox does actually need a win if it's ever gonna get to making good games again. Ever.
Because if they keep getting L's and L's and L's, they're gonna. Phil Spencer's going to be reinforced in what he believes, that making good games is not beneficial to us.
So we'll just
keep phoning it in.
Spend as much money as possible to get the whole industry under our umbrella, and then what we gonna? I don't know why you want to do that. To drive the whole industry into the ground.
It seems so counterproductive, isn't it? It's
it feels like a Hollywood play.
Games is crap.
It feels like a
buy everything though.
Feels like a giant Hollywood play to get movies back on top.
Yeah,
you know.
It's like, we really don't think gaming is any good, so we're going to crush it from within.
Yeah.
We want movies to be the thing again. So the gunplay is fantastic.
That's good.
Also, people are saying that the 30 FPS actually doesn't feel too bad. So, similar how we say that Death Stranding, we're like, this is 30 FPS. So sometimes it feels quite fluid.
Only games that I've been like, what? What?
It feels remarkably fluid.
Yeah.
Now, granted, with the PS5 and the director's cut, it's got on 60 FPS. But back in the day, it was like, wow, this is 30
going
FPS.
From 60 down to 30, you can tell. But at the time, I was like, wait, it's 30?
The whatever motion blur tactics they had was fantastic. Similar sort of things going on in here. I've seen it, and I'm like, this looks really good. I'm sure when you get it, it does feel less than a 60, and you can tell that. But I was expecting it to be really bad, and it turns out it's quite good, and I want to give props for that, because that's an achievement right there.
For me, the one thing that we still haven't heard is, I want in depth, and I don't mean spoilers, but how good is the story?
Yes.
Because people don't say Skyrim's so good because of the combat. They say, oh my god, what an incredible story. Same with The Witcher. They don't go, The Witcher's so good because of the combat. Oh my god, what an incredible story, what incredible writing. And that's true for, crazily enough, the best games ever made. The Witcher, God of War, like Red Dead Redemption 2. Like, yeah, the combat's good and that's fantastic. But the combat is, the ketchup on top of the meat and potatoes that is an incredible story with incredible voice acting for the main protagonist. And
well, for the next week, I'll be able to tell you guys. Not next week, the week after, I'll be able to tell you guys, because I am still planning to buy this game so I can play it for myself and get all the information I can. I will say there were some mixed feelings on the story. Some people were saying that it was not too inspiring. Some people were saying that it's a step up from Fallout 4, and I'm like, that's not much of a praise.
Yeah.
and then some people were saying like, oh, it's the best thing ever. Some people, however, were saying that their early impression saying it's fantastic.
Yeah.
And I have heard from quite a few people who have completed the game and everything like that saying the first 20 hours are the most polished and the most like fine-tuned and like honed in. And I guess that most of those people who are giving their first impressions are within those first 20 hours. And I don't know. So
I don't know how. I feel like I would prefer if people said I hated the story or I loved the story, because then it means that it's engaging.
Yeah.
People saying like it's not inspiring or it's just not good, like that means it could be pretty meh. But if people are like I hate that story, it's just not good, or I loved it, it's the best story I've ever seen, that I'd be like, okay, it's polarizing, but there's something there. It gets you fired up, whether you love it or hate it. If it's a Marmite game, that's fine. Like
Death Stranding was.
Elden Ring for me. I don't like that kind of game, but it looks like there's an incredible story in there. I'd love for people to be like, I don't want stories about this. I can't stand it, or Joel dying in the film. I don't want.
Whoa.
Like for me, that was a turn off point. But something's engaging there.
Yeah.
You know.
I would have. It's only the. Actually, let me save that for another point. In a second. I'm going to read out Vitali's. Vitali. I'm not going to have to say Vit. He wrote in a comment on our Patreon, and he says played Starfield for 4 hours. He wrote it like 10 hours ago, so he's probably played a lot more since then. Played Starfield for 4 hours. And to my surprise, it's actually good, coming from someone who only played Fallout 4. So he's not a big BGS fan, but he did play Fallout 4.
Yeah, that's...
Obviously, you spend your first portion of your time creating your character from tons of options and picking your background traits. Each trait has a positive and at times a big negative, which sounds kind of cool. Actually,
that does sound good. I'm happy for there to be like a trade-off.
Yeah,
you know,
I'm looking forward to that part of the game. And how that interacts with everything.
Yeah.
But so far, no issue. No issue.
How many...
And the story is intriguing, he says.
Well, that's good. How many penis-sized selections are there? Because I mean, Baldur's Gate has quite a few.
See, he doesn't detail that there. I'm suspecting 0.
What's the point?
0 out of 10.
You know, if I want to be able to do size, width, girth, yaw.
Oh, exactly.
Does it have a hoodie or not?
And which one is yaw? Is it that way? Or
Yeah.
Is it? Which one is
which is pitch?
Which I think pitch is. I think that's yaw, and that's no. It pitches up and down.
Yeah. Well, also, does it have a twist in the
Yeah,
shaft?
we need to know if there's a twist.
And you know, can I pick which side I dress to? Do I get different story options if I dress to the right for the one playthrough to see what changes?
Helmet size.
Right, exactly. I mean, look, it's a space game. You know, you need to. He
continues to say. Dialogue seems to be well written and cities well populated populated. A random interaction with the citizen results in side quest activities. Cool. Combat is fun. Performance is good on PC, 40 to 50 FPS on high with a 2060 graphics card. He's saying there.
Yeah, that's not bad.
My one's probably going to be able to demolish that, especially because they have a partnership with AMD, and this is AMD top spec. This is going to be great.
Yeah, buddy.
Seems like SSD is definitely needed for smooth loading and experience. Overall, quite pleased and looking forward to playing it more. Also, in true Shep's fashion, spent too much time in the starting location exploring and picking everything up, ignoring the main quest. Now I have 11k in-game currency just after one mission.
That does sound like me.
You've earned the respect of the upside down gamer.
I will say also, so this is the problem. This is there are some benefits to doing stuff like that, right? Like you end up with a lot of resources and stuff. I'm also the sort of gamer that won't use my health potions if I'm about to die. Oh, yeah. Because what if I need them later on?
But I don't know what's coming up. What if there is a big boss?
You know when you get the AR at the end of The Last of Us? I saved it in case there was another boss and beat the game without ever using it the first playthrough. I was so angry at myself. And then do you know what happened? When I played it again, I think I played The Last of Us like 7 or 8 times. The second time I played it, I barely used it just in case there were more enemies. And I'm like, I've had this thing twice. I know this is the end of the game and I've shot it 3 times.
Oh, boy.
Why are you like this, me?
Why do I suck so much?
I hate it so much.
Okay, so the reason why I turned back on, because last episode I did say I was going to buy the early access edition so I could play it as soon as possible and so I can talk about it on the show and stuff like that, was because I had heard about the big review outlets not getting the game. Yeah. And I was kind of suspicious of that.
I mean, we didn't get one either, so...
Exactly. We're up there with Eurogamer right there, so, stuff like that.
And we do sell out immediately.
Exactly. And I was like... Maybe I'll wait. I'll save myself the money and I'll get it on Game Pass for the 10 quid, whatever it is, to go get it. Now, these reviews are based on 51 critics, 87, right?
Okay.
Normally, big games, big tempo games, get about 110 plus reviews. So this is about half the amount of reviews. Most of these reviews on here are the ones that have given it perfect scores, 10 out of 10. I mean, I've named a bunch of cons that should have taken some points off, but these ones are Xbox-centric sites. Xbox Addict, Generación...
What does Xbox Addict have to say?
Let's read their little blurb. Bethesda has not only crafted a new, compelling, and wondrous universe to explore...
Okay.
where you can play in any way you desire. They've created
That's
one.
literally not true.
They've created, which way is it? Shoot the person and not shoot the person. There we go. They've created one of the most important games of this generation and prove once again they are the best at what they do.
See, calling that one of the most important games of the generation is one of two things. Either just one of the dumbest things I've ever seen, or very much a Phil Spencer-esque. It's really important. See, this is the game that killed Xbox. Like, but I mean, that's so disingenuous. How does anyone take people like that seriously?
Generation Xbox says
Okay.
Starfield is one of those games that defines an era. A fun, huge game and one of the best space operas of all time. Bethesda and Xbox have built one of the best games of the generation.
On Xbox.
Yeah. Sumos Xbox, also another perfect score. Starfield is one of the best games of the year, which is no small feat. 2023 has some of the best games
Ever.
Game of the year this year is going to be so stupidly difficult to call, and this one's saying one of the best games ever. Okay, and one of the best games in Xbox history. Bethesda has created an era-defining game, which will set an example for other studios to follow as they embark on their own journey in space. Mondo Xbox.
Let me just stop you there. I just want you guys to know, because I was like, this has been stacked this year. These are the games just on the first page, right, with Starfield. Final Fantasy 16.
Yep.
16, I think, yeah. The Legend of Zelda, Tears of whatever it is, Jedi Survivor, Diablo 3, Resident Evil 4, that Wulong thing, Hogwarts Legacy, Forspoken, Alan Wake 2, Horizon Call of the Mountain, Baldur's Gate 3, hold on, I know there's some other good ones here. Hi-Fi Rush, Bear With Me, Destiny 2 Lightfall, that came out. Bear With Me. I know there's like two more here. Well, I can't. One Piece Odyssey, that came out. Yeah, boy. Minecraft Legends. I didn't even know that was out. So
there's been a stupid.
And Spider-Man. How did I forget Spider-Man 2?
Oh yeah, it's coming out. Yeah.
It's going to be out this year. So, doubt.
Yeah, very doubtful. Very doubtful. There was one.
Oh, and of course Redfall. Apologies.
Oh, see, there you go. There was a tweet that came up earlier that I saw. It was like some of the best games, just to name a few of them. Like you've named a bunch of these: Baldur's Gate, Zelda's Tear of the Kingdom, Metroid Prime, Resident Evil 4, Dead Space, Sea of Stars, which is a new game that came out. Yeah. Apparently getting rave reviews right now. Final Fantasy 16, Diablo, Jedi Fallen Order. All of these fantastic games that all also have scored higher than Starfield has on Metacritic, but apparently this is the best game ever. Anyway, my point is that there's a bunch of sites on here that are Xbox-centric sites that are very small and looking to get some traction, that have all giving it perfect 100 out of 100 scores. Metacritic, for those of you guys that don't know, don't count every score equally. If you are a site that has great pedigree, who has been doing it for years, who is well known, their scores count for more.
Right.
Those ones have yet to come.
Right. Yeah.
So
also,
when
averages are denominator heavy.
Exactly. That's another good point as well about mathematics. It's super weird like that, where you just if you drop a low score, it tanks the whole thing down. If Eurogamer comes out and they say 7 as well, like IGN did and whatnot, the other big outlets that have all been left out of it all come out with like a 7. This thing's going to drop down to below 80.
Yeah.
And then it's going to make, especially these people, look even more stupid.
Yeah. I imagine you see this and that's your decision maker. Like, do you look at these guys and go, these guys give good, high quality, fair, unbiased reviews? Yeah. No, you go, I spent money on this, or whatever the cost of a Game Pass is on this. Because of these guys, I think I'm just not going to listen to them.
Yeah.
I obviously don't know what they're talking about.
There's fun definitely to be had in this. I believe it. Even a 7 out of 10 from IGN is still.
I take Vit's opinion far more seriously than any of these douchebags.
Exactly.
He has said,
and Cal,
Vit said, I've only played Fallout 4. This game's really good. I'm enjoying the gunplay. I'm having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
The story looks engaging. Cool.
Good
Based
enough.
on that, I'd probably play it.
Yeah.
And I might go, do you know what? It's not for me. But there's plenty of games where I've done that, and there's plenty of games where I've gone, I didn't like this game, but it's really good. Sifu and Elden Ring are the two that always stick out to me as me. I hated playing those. They're really good, and I expect to hate playing Lies of P, but it looks really good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try it and hate it and be like, why can't I get into these games? But that doesn't make it a bad game just because I don't like it, right? So based on VIT alone, I'd be willing to try this game. The fact is, I've seen all these losers saying this game's the best thing since sliced bread, and now I'm like, you guys are liars. Why can't you just be as trustworthy as VIT, who played the game?
Yeah. Anyway,
yes,
that's I just want to point that out because I'm imagining in the next week or so when the other numbers come in, I imagine this will go down quite a bit, and then we'll be looking at just an okay game that came out from Bethesda, and a game that really should have been amazing because Xbox are really struggling with good games at the moment.
The worst thing is they shouldn't be.
They shouldn't be.
There's no reason for that to be the case, except for their own decision making, and that is really, really frustrating.
Yeah. One final comment from Giuseppe. He wrote on Twitter and he said, "It's awesome." I was asking about Starfield. He says, "It's awesome playing it, especially playing it with my PS5. the most fun part is flying around my tuned spaceship." If you're still reading this, you're a legend. Just kidding. But the gameplay does look legit awesome. One thing he actually mentioned about the ship there, that was one other good point. One other good point I was going to say. Universally, everyone's saying that building the ship is fucking awesome and it's so cool. Building your own like space cruiser where you can you have loads of storage, so you can do cargo missions, or you can build a smaller one for dogfighting. Apparently, that part is absolutely awesome, and I'm highly looking forward to that bit.
Now, hear me out. But what's the point?
Yes. So there is a part of the game where you can. So when you're in those panoramic pictures, that's very deceptive and stuff like that. There is a point where you can fight other ships in that thing, and they fly around you, and then you sort of turn.
PvP or in-game enemies?
In-game enemies.
Okay.
No online stuff, and you can board their ships, and you can steal their ships and sell them for parts and stuff like that, which is all cool and stuff. People say that's fun. I believe them. I think it seems quite fun, but that's one thing you can do in there. It seems like it's not enough to make the spaceship flying thing worth it.
Yeah.
Maybe I have to get into it and really decide, okay, and see for myself whether or not this is great. It seems like it's good enough fun. It just doesn't seem like to me that it's enough to warrant the whole space part of it.
Another game that I think is probably going to be an interesting comparison here. The Expanse. Have you watched the show?
Episode 1.
The show's so good. There's an Expanse game that came out this year.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, it's a Telltale game.
Any good?
Telltale series. I have no idea. I haven't played it, but I think it would be interesting to compare those two because one has a budget and the other doesn't, basically. That'll be interesting. I think that'll probably be the best apples to apples comparison because ultimately, as much as I love things like Mass Effect and Fallout New Vegas, comparing the story of Fallout New Vegas, pretty much regarded as maybe one of Bethesda's best, at least in the non-fantasy realm, let's say, or a Mass Effect which is totally different, set in a different style of everything. This can be two games that came out in the same year, set in space. What do they look like? That I think will be a better comparison. It's also, it bugs me to say this, but it isn't fair to compare this game to Forbidden West.
Yeah, very different.
Very different, and I think we're stacking the deck specifically so it fails if we have to compare it to this. Not because Bethesda don't have the talent, that they can't compete with Guerrilla, but because the guys at PlayStation and Guerrilla have been specifically making decisions so that they will end up with good games, and I don't think that's been happening with Bethesda or with Bethesda under Microsoft.
Yeah.
So I want it to be like, this is a game that you have. Let's compare it to another game that is out, not from, you know, the best studios in the world, specifically optimized for the best console in the world at the minute. Like, that isn't fair.
Yeah.
And I want, if Starfield fails, it's not going to be because we stacked the deck against it. It's going to be because they just made a not very good game.
On its own legs.
Yeah, exactly.
So, just to wrap this all up,
Yeah.
I have been given by Vit, one of our good guys,
Gamer.
in a DM, some statistics on how many people are playing Starfield right now.
Okay.
Bear in mind that the only way that you can get Starfield right now is either you buy the $100 premium edition
Yeah.
on Steam, or you get the $30 upgrade from the Game Pass version, and you can play it early that way.
Yeah.
So these people have to be either one of those things.
Yeah.
231,000 people playing it currently on PC.
That's actually really impressive.
Huge number, right?
That's really impressive.
Just goes to show you how good the marketing was before this. That everyone was all up waiting for this. I was almost there.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
almost there if I didn't see that last thing about the reviews. And most people don't see that sort of
See
stuff.
that-
We're tuned in. That's why we get that.
Good news.
That just shows.
And this is what's going to suck even more if this game isn't good, is, Phil, you were wrong.
Yeah.
People will buy your game. A lot of people will buy your game at a minimum, whatever 30 times 210,000 is. That's how much money you can make from a good game pre-sale,
Yeah.
like pre-release. We'll assume no one paid 100. We'll just assume they're all on the $30 thing.
I'm going to work it out. Times by 30.
Yeah,
$7 million right there.
just like that, off the bat. Like, that's pretty freaking good.
Yeah.
That's pretty decent. So if the game's not shit, like we're onto something here, Phil. We can
Exactly.
make, crazy idea, make good games, ask people to pay for them, and they'll give you money as long as all you do is give them a good game in return. It's a crazy idea, Phil. Take that to Microsoft, see what you can do with it. Because, mate, I'm telling you, I think there's a market model there for you.
Yeah. Anyway, if you are enjoying Starfield right now, that's fantastic. Thank you very much for sending that in at the last minute there, just as our story was wrapping up.
That's really impressive.
That is really impressive, and hats off to them. As I said, I was part of that. I was taken in by that marketing as well. I'm good. I'm glad for them.
Good.
Okay. Is there anything else you wanted to say about Starfield before we go?
No.
I'll be very interested to see where the score goes after a few more people come out. In like 5 days' time, I'll be playing it as well.
Yeah.
So I'll be able to give you guys my impressions on the next episode.
I
If
would
you're
rather
enjoying it,
hear
let us know.
your impressions and our boys' impressions, because, to be honest, I can see one of two things happening. The score gets artificially boosted by, this is the best thing ever. Or, and I can see this happening, the Sony ponies, like actual loser Sony ponies, are like, this game's shit, 30 out of 100. Like, no. Let's let it win or, stand or fall.
Stand on its own merit,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah.
Like, we don't have to stack the deck. Like, and my bar is it's just not bad.
Yeah.
It just has to not be bad, and I'll consider it a success. Just don't be bad. So I'm more interested in hearing what you have to say. And not that I don't trust Vit and all that stuff, but we have practiced, like, taking our own experience of the game out of it and saying, okay, this is really good, but these things don't tie in. But overall, these things, like, is it worth the money? If you were going to pay, like, the question is, if they were charging $70, which is the going rate for a full game now, would it be worth it? And also, the answer can be no, it's not worth 70, but it would be worth the 30 for the access. Like, okay, cool. I really only care about an impartial opinion,
Well,
and I
tune
want
in
to
next
hear.
week.
I would like to hear after a few hours, like, give me a message. Like, I've just played 4 hours, I'm really digging it, and then like 20 hours in, actually, it got even better, or a few things fell apart.
I'll be doing that. I think I'm going to start doing that kind of stuff, especially like on Twitter and like TikTok and stuff like that.
Because I think it would be interesting to read your thoughts. Like, DM me, be like, right, Sheps, check game time. 3 hours, 37 minutes in. So far, the hook for the story is really impressive. The gunplay is fantastic and playing in the ships is great. 10 hours in, story's fallen off a bit. The side quests are a bit repetitive. 15 hours in, it's come back. There was a hook. There was a twist. Like, I'm super engaged. You know, like, I'd love to be able to read through that and see you process through the game and then hear, like, okay, I finished playing it, my whole experience. Do you know what I mean?
Funny you should mention that. There's a guy who's watching Smallville for the first time on Twitter.
Okay.
A guy that I follow. He's a big Superman fan. He'd never watched Smallville though, and he's watching Smallville from start to finish. And he's doing that as he goes along. He's like, even in each individual episode, he's like, "Who the fuck is what's going on here? No, this isn't going to happen. Oh, this is what." And there's just so many things that he hasn't realized.
It's fun watching stuff like that.
So great. It's so great.
Has he figured out that Clark is going to be Superman?
One time the Clark put on glasses, and he was like, "Oh."
Hold on a minute.
And then he was wearing a red t-shirt and then a blue jacket.
Oh, interesting.
And then he went into a blue jacket and a red t-shirt.
Ooh.
And they went,
Yeah.
but he didn't quite get it though. He didn't quite.
But did he take his? Did he take his glass off and then open the jacket, revealing the red?
He did, but he still didn't quite put the dots together.
You can't expect someone to get that first time.
Yeah, it's pretty hard.
Yeah, it's one of those things that once you know and you go back and rewatch it, you're like, ah,
Yeah.
aha. See,
Now I see.
they
it.
laid the groundwork. I think the hint was him being an alien from Krypton crashing to Earth. You're like, how did I miss that?
Damn, how did I miss this whole thing right here?
10 seasons and I didn't put that together.
All right, bro.
Yes.
This is the True Gamer Podcast. Coming to your eyes and ears every Saturday here at youtube.com/Conbrosations.
Isn't it Sunday?
Sunday, as I said the first time, with no failures with them. Sunday, youtube.com/Conversations1, and on podcast services around the world. You can support us if you're watching on YouTube by clicking that like button, subscribing to the channel. It helps us out so much. And if you're on podcast services, rate us 5 stars on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts.
Yeah.
By the way, if you're a patron now, you can you can connect your Patreon account to Spotify and get all of our Patreon exclusive episodes in Spotify.
That's
Previously,
cool.
you couldn't do that, and it was really annoying for me.
Cool. Yeah, we did that for you.
We
That's
spoke
not
to
Spotify,
Patreon.
so yeah, and Spotify, we were like, you guys need to do this feature for our boys,
Get your shit together.
and we got that for you.
And they did it. So yeah, you can do that. If you guys love the show, if you love it that much, you want to go the extra mile, take it that one step further, you can head over to patreon.com/Conbrosations, where you can kick us a couple of bucks a month, $5 to be specific, to be called a true gamer, and get this episode the day it's recorded, before all of the plebs over on Spotify, YouTube, and stuff like that. And get your name read out as a true gamer. Just like Dagenham Dan, Gams Master, Mikey T, Gerald Tucker, Sheps is Crusty Right Nut, Adam the High Quality Potato, Sab2557, Super Whale Ben, Isak Manny, Cobra SS, Fishy, Max H, and Adam Sunling. Thank you guys so much for keeping the lights and mics on the gaming going here, Conversations. However, if you don't want to give us any money, that's totally understandable.
I mean, I get it.
We,
Let's be honest.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Look at us, fucking losers. But hey, we totally get it. No problem.
Actually, it's costing me £12.50 just to get here now. So,
Yeah.
like, really.
The ULEZ thing is
Also, I knew I forgot a thing. I was gonna say, like the video before we got an hour and a half in. I forgot that one. One of these days,
I blame you.
YouTube. I blame me as well. One of these days, we'll figure out this YouTube thing. I swear we will. But
I don't think
today is not that day.
I don't think we will. All right, our next topic.
Yeah.
The PSP has returned from the dead. Yes.
Are you pulling my leg, or are you like
A bit. I'm pulling it like a little bit.
a lot of it?
So, do you remember the Project Q?
Yeah.
That a device that was revealed as like it's a portable tablet with the 2 DualSense controller bits on each side.
Yeah.
It has officially been revealed now with its name, price point, and release date. Release date.
Okay.
And it is going to be called the PlayStation Portal. Not the PlayStation Portable, the PlayStation Portal, which is abbreviated as PSP. No confusion there whatsoever.
You know, as a Sony pony,
Yes.
it makes me really angry that they do weird things, like, as an example, having pretty decent services that they don't market, even on the PlayStation.
Yeah.
And then taking a pretty beloved concept, both the PSP and the Vita, and going, we're going to call it the PSP. It's not the PSP, but a PSP.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So it's called the PlayStation Portal. They've officially announced it. They've showed it off in all of its glory. It looks quite nice in my opinion. It has some drawbacks, so we don't officially know the battery life yet of it.
It won't be good.
It probably won't be good, but there is a lot of real estate back there for them to put a big enough battery in it. We'll see how it goes. It's still an LCD screen, like I mentioned before, which was a bit of a... I was like, man. But
since 2023.
Yeah. But since then, there's been a lot of reviews from tech YouTubers out there who have come out and said, actually, it looks pretty good. Okay. And it's got HDR capabilities on it, so it's not so bad. It looks all right.
I mean, we're at the ragged edge of what LCD can do.
Yeah.
But it's pretty good for what it can do.
To me, that was the only issue that I particularly had. I was like, that's the main thing I'm interfacing with. Everything else sounds good and feels good. I think I'm gonna go with it as long as that LCD screen sounds good.
Yeah.
Came back, it was good, so I have actually pre-ordered it.
Okay.
Because the price is $199.
Okay.
It's not too bad. It was a little bit outside of our predictions, our hopes, I should say. We were hoping for like 150.
Yeah, I thought 149 would be really kind of a sexy price. Yeah.
I was listening to a couple of other people, and they were saying like we were hoping it would be like 150 as well. They were saying the same thing, but then they were like, realistically, how realistic were we with that? Because a backbone is $99, and then you've got the price of the screen in the middle of it.
A controller with back buttons is $129 starting,
and then you've got the DualSense controller that's been. It's like, how realistic were we being with this? And I was like, you know what, that is kind of fair.
Oh, look at you and your facts.
Anyway, $199 is the price. It's releasing on the 15th of November, so not that far away at all.
What, a month and a half?
Yeah,
no,
month, September,
I can count
October,
2 months and a half.
Exactly. So I'm pretty excited in that. It's releasing in the UK, US, France, Germany, Austria, Belgium, Luxembourg, all these places, and a few regions that
Anywhere
are coming
that
out.
puts pineapple and banana on its pizzas.
Exactly, those places especially.
But
there is a couple of downsides to this. So one, there is no Bluetooth in the device.
Okay.
It's got a dedicated proprietary PlayStation Link technology. The advantages of them going with that, the reason why they went with that is because, you know, when you have remote play, have you ever used remote play on like your laptop or something like that?
I've never had any need because I play at home.
Exactly. I've never used remote play for playing. I've used remote play for quickly logging in on my phone and downloading something or making sure something's on or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I've used it for.
I just never have the need.
I don't like playing on a small screen. I don't like that kind of thing. The pain point of it was that you had to start an app. You had to tell it to select the connection. It would take about 30 to 60 seconds to find the PlayStation 5, turn it on, make the connection, then stream everything back to you. And even then, it was a little bit janky. Sometimes it would drop off depending on your network or whatever's going on. This PlayStation Link is proprietary, and it's supposed to make things so much more streamlined.
Okay.
And apparently it does. The downside is that they haven't put Bluetooth in it because they've got this link thing that can connect to certain headsets and stuff like that. The only problem is not everything can use PlayStation Link.
I was going to say.
And if you've got wireless headphones, they can't connect to it. Even the old Pulse PlayStation headphones can't connect to it.
Sweet.
Great, right? Fucking great.
That's fantastic.
But the new set of headphones that have announced alongside it, those can work with it.
Calling it now, someone is going to say this causes cancer, just saying.
Who knows? Who knows? Now,
for legal reasons, it's a joke. I'm not saying in any conversations at no point takes any responsibility, not claiming nor insinuating that.
Thank you, lawyer. They have said that they are going to allow third parties to put PlayStation Link in their headphones, but that's going to be like miles down the line.
Yeah.
I do like the fact that you can just turn on the Project Q, the portal, and it turns on your PlayStation straight away. Instant link, no wait time, no nothing.
Yeah.
And you go along with it. That's good. It does suck that they had to make a whole new proprietary link technology and exclude Bluetooth for that reason.
Yeah, that's weird. Also, while what you said is cool, I have another way to instantly turn on my PlayStation, which is I pick up the controller and turn it on because that is my primary gaming.
Yeah.
So.
See, if you're not into this, then it's definitely not. Not something you're gonna go for.
I do want to really preface with, although I am kind of shitting on it, it is a product that isn't designed for me. And for the people that it is designed for, all three of them, they're gonna love it. They're gonna love it.
I've seen quite a lot of positive feedback about this. Don't get me wrong, there's a bunch of people who are shitting on it. Those people seem to be the people who weren't interested in the first place. And I'm like, so why are you talking about it? Like, it's kind of like going, is
it like shuheiyoshida1@gmail.com? Oh, this is a very good service.
Yes, it's all Shuhei Yoshida alt accounts. No,
That's so groundbreaking.
Because I'm interested in it, I've obviously gone to look at a bunch of reviews and a bunch of what people's conversations are around it. Some people who are genuinely like, oh yeah, I could see myself like chilling on the sofa with it. And I'm like, that's what I'm looking for.
Me too, but that's where my PlayStation is.
Yeah. Well, I'm downstairs is where I'll be chilling with it, and the PlayStation's up here. I'm quite interested in it. The fact that it still has a 3.5mm jack is good, because then I don't have to worry about the Bluetooth issue and like wireless headphones.
Yeah,
and
Apple.
like that. Yeah, they didn't go full Apple with it and go, you know what, we're removing this.
You know what, actually? I sort of take that back. If in your situation, which is Isla's coming up to the age where we're going to start introducing her to gaming properly, right? Like, she won't be any good at it, but she's got to be messing with the controller and getting used to that.
We're going to get her straight into The Last of Us Part 2.
Right. Well, after she's developed the fatherly attachment to Joel.
God.
So, like, you get to experience the Sarah thing all over again, and then she gets to experience the Joel thing.
We'll start off with games that are going to crush her soul.
Yeah, exactly. And get her ready for the real world.
Yes, exactly.
But I do think there is something to be said for having that. Like, you can be sitting on the sofa, especially your size sofa, and you can have Isla, like, cuddled up, and you can be playing a game together. That's pretty cool. I don't have an Isla.
Yeah.
And actually, the Isla I do have refuses to acknowledge I exist. So, in fact, no, never mind. This is a terrible sale. I hope it gets deleted.
Terrible idea.
Yeah, and I hope when they're like, this product isn't making us any money, that they put out some code that disables all the ones that were purchased. God damn it, Isla.
I'm interested in this. I find it funny that they called it the PSP.
That's actually genuinely making me angry.
I think the price point is okay.
Yeah,
I think it's not bad at all. The Bluetooth thing is a little bit annoying, because especially if you're going for like a slightly more portable device, you'd probably want like portable headphones as well. And knowing that I can't use my earbuds that I use for like the gym, for example, that kind of sucks right there. But at least they have the 3.5mm jack, so it's not like I'm tied to buying their own proprietary things. Because then it's not a $200 device, it's a $400 device.
Yeah.
And that's annoying.
Very much, yes.
The idea, though, of playing my PlayStation 5 games in full quality on my lap, wherever I am in the house, or also you can play outside the house as long as you have a good connection, they said. That sounds good to me. I'm quite excited about it. I hope it's as good as I am imagining it to be. Let's see. We'll see.
We will have to see.
So, the next topic. PlayStation Plus prices are going up.
Cool.
This is quite hilarious, in my opinion, and I think I have an idea of why they're doing it. But let me just explain to you guys. So, PlayStation Plus Essential was $60 or £50 in the UK. And it's gone from 60 to 80 and 50 to £60, right?
Yeah.
So it's a £10 increase in the UK, $20 increase in America. Extra has gone from $100 to $135, and in the UK, £84 to £100, £16 difference, $35 there. Premium has gone from $120 to $160, $40 increase, and £100 to £120, £20 in the UK.
Yeah.
Absolutely unbelievable. I didn't think these services were very good in the first place, to the point that I was like, don't get me wrong, there was some good stuff there. There were good games on it. But we weren't clamoring for it.
Oh my God.
This wasn't like, oh, bro, you don't have PlayStation Plus Premium. What are you
doing?
Why are you even playing video games?
Why'd you spend all the money on a PlayStation and not get this? Yeah.
And they're going, and
you
they're
bought a car but
prices.
didn't buy petrol for it. You're an idiot. Like, no.
So stupid.
Yeah.
Now, I have to point out the UK prices aren't increasing anywhere near as much as the US prices. Yeah. I mean, the essential tier, £10 is going up. Not a huge difference. Even the premium tier is only going up £20, whereas in the US it's going up $40, which is quite a sizable
That's pretty
amount.
significant.
What do you think is going on over at PlayStation that they're doing this dumb shit?
it's still run by suits. Like, people forget they're like, you guys are only ponies, and it's a bit of a running joke, but also genuinely they're suits. Like, what I think is happening is they probably underestimated the cost of the hosting and the data centers and stuff for all this as a service.
Maybe.
And I think that they probably expected this to be something that people forgot about, sort of like a Netflix thing where they just kept paying for it and stopped using it. Except this is a service that the people that like it use it. And there's not many of them, but those use it, and that's expensive.
I saw a bunch of people online cancelling their subscriptions.
Yeah.
Like Sony fanboys out there who were like, nah, I'm done. I'm done with it.
Yeah,
I don't blame
crazy
them.
idea. But as it turns out, that backlog of games, not that valuable.
That's the thing that I wanted to say. That's my reasoning why I think this is. I think PlayStation already said in the first place that a game subscription is not viable. It doesn't work. Xbox is doing it because they're being funded by Microsoft. They're not making money from it. They're spending money to
business
make
decisions, and this one doesn't make sense because we like to make money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think they're raising the prices because they saw exactly how little money is coming from it and how it doesn't work. So they need to raise the prices. And to be honest, I don't think they care whether or not it lives or dies because
you're right.
Their business is making good games, selling it for a price that makes sense.
People pay it, yeah.
People want to pay. The people that find respect is given for their money. And then they go and do that. They have no care for this. So they're like, when they raise the price, like, hey, if you want it, you can take it. If you don't want it, don't take it. We're cool with you doing
when
whatever.
someone goes, yo, Ed, I need you to do this really crap job. And you go, okay, but you have to pay the crap job fee, which is a ridiculous amount of money.
Yeah.
So much money that if you're stupid enough to say yes, I can't say no.
Yeah.
And sometimes someone goes, yeah, cool, let's do it. And you go, well, it's a ridiculous amount of money.
At least I'll be handsomely paid for this.
You know, like, I don't want to do it, but like, who can say no to that kind of money? And this is that. They're like, we don't really want to do this.
Yeah.
So if you want it, it's going to cost you a lot of money. And we're really hoping that you'll go, no, we don't want it. So we can just wrap it up because we weren't going to market it anyway.
Yeah.
So then 4 people are going to go, yeah, I'll pay like £7,000 a day for this stupid service. All right, great, you can have it. Yeah, I think you're right. They don't want it to be successful. They want to say, look, we tried it. You guys complained, and it actually costs a lot of money to host this big library of, this big backlog, James. So, and only you are buying it. To be honest, this is one of those things that just doesn't affect me.
Yeah.
Same as the PSP.
Hey! Don't talk about my PSP like that.
Just doesn't affect me, man. I just don't.
What was the next thing I was gonna say? Load more comments here. Let me just check.
Gaming. No,
that's gonna come up next. Okay, cool. Our next topic, the Snitch
Yes.
released a tweet saying,
More stuff in like French. or Italian, whatever language he speaks. He keeps like, bro, snitch in English.
"Snitch in English, will you?" He says, "Project God of War Ragnarok DLC is on the way. Here we go." Pretty hard to interpret that as anything but God of War Ragnarok DLC is on the way.
I don't know how good is your Italian or whatever it was.
Huge news.
If you were gonna do a God of War DLC,
Yes.
what would you pick?
It would fill in the gaps that were left after Ragnarok. So I've still got that video on paper. I was planning to do it before I went to Sweden, but didn't manage to. It's to fill in all the gaps between.
Bruv, you went to Sweden and didn't do like God of War stuff.
I did one God of War thing. I got a Norse tattoo of
No, you didn't. You got a God of War tattoo.
I got a God of War. Well, it's got Norse symbols on it, bro.
It's got Greek Omega.
Helheim. It's got
Was it a Greek Omega?
It's got Asgard.
You might as well have gone to Greece, bro. And you're Turkish. You just got a Greek symbol on your arm.
And I did do some other Greek stuff, but not Greek stuff. Norse. Damn it! You fucked me up.
See?
Now. Anyway, I would want it to be a game that fills in the gaps between everything that happened between God of War 3, God of War 2018.
Yeah.
Because there is so much that they didn't explain. the relationship between him and Faye, how he got there, what the nature of him getting there was, because they alluded to so many things. Obviously, I did tons of research in the book that they brought out, in the stuff that they that happened in the first game, and in the second game, showing a fight that happened in what's the place that Freya's from?
Vanaheim.
Vanaheim. But the fight that happened in Vanaheim between Faye and Thor, you can't just say they had a fight and put a frozen lightning bolt in the middle of the thing and not tell us what happened or show us what happened, something like that. I feel like that was all teases for something coming. And I hope this DLC is talking about how they met, what the reasons were that they met, and hopefully I hope it's tease up the next game as well. Just gives that little hint as to where we're going next. Yeah. That's what I'm hoping for. Cool. And I'm really excited for that. Really excited. How about you?
I'd probably do a prequel thing where you sort of just spend the game making Atreus.
Yeah.
You know, like you, Faye.
Heartfelt story. The actual...
the making of Atreus. I do think... I would do a prequel... As that was sort of semi-joke. I probably would do a prequel, and it probably would center around Faye, but it would fill in the blanks for all the stuff that happened in passing. So she would allude to these things that only because you've played the game you get it. Like, you know, at the beginning of 2018, Baldur thinks he's talking to the giant that is Faye.
Yeah.
And if you go back and listen to their conversation, it plays two different ways. Yeah. Like they're reading the same script in two different movies.
Yeah.
And that's what makes that scene so interesting. Like, a genuine... Going back and watch that first scene where Baldur speaks to Kratos, he thinks he's talking to the last giant. He's called him like, you think you're so big and all this stuff. And Kratos thinks he knows I'm a god from Greece. I think I would do something like that, where Faye would tell you all these things, and unless you've played the game... Well, obviously you've played the game, but unless you're looking at it, like, what is she telling us? You know, and so Kratos actually knows what happens, but has no idea he was given that information. But we, the player, know that Faye has alluded to the future that's going to happen. You know, maybe she'll say, like, you know, when I'm not here, you should be doing this. And you're like, you know, like, I think I would do something like that.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
I like that a lot.
I would probably expand on, you know, that bit where you get it's the flashback or something where you're running through the forest with Faye.
Yeah,
similar to that. And you do some, like, obviously you get a bit of combat and stuff like that, and some exploring, but I'd make it where you go, one, like, how did you not clock this, Kratos? What the frick? And two, I think I'd use that as an excuse to tie in some things for 2018. Yeah. So, like, I think a lot of people missed that early. You know, Kratos early on is very hesitant to be near Atreus.
Yeah.
I think people felt that was weird, but I think if we got a bit more time of Kratos constantly trying to stay away from delicate things and things that he likes, like maybe if Faye looks after an animal, that she asks him for help, and he should be like, I'm not good at healing things, you know, get that across. Or maybe, you know, a flash forward where she's pregnant and Kratos is like not freaking out but concerned because the last family he had that didn't go too well, and he was just a dude then.
Yep.
And now he's very much not a dude, and things could get really bad. Yeah. Like, what happens if? And she has to be like, no, you're not that guy.
It's not going to happen again.
Yeah. Like, you're in control, and you know what it means to be a god, and you know who you are, and you know your place. You know. Like, I think a lot of that, so that when you go back and play 2018 again, you're like, oh yeah, it ties in with this thing that he says in 2018, you know, because you can work backwards from stuff. That's what I would do. I'd do a lot of filling in the gaps. I wouldn't really pay too much attention to Faye, which I know you and I both want to know, but I'd make it vague, but you're like, you know, I give you a lot of those moments, but no, like, certainties. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get you.
There was a lot of words for not a lot
that
of
might
content.
Infuriate me, though.
I'd be so angry, but it would be so good as well.
Yeah, a hook right there. All right. Well, that's all the topics that we have for today.
Gaming.
I've got one thing to open up right here, as this came just as we were recording the podcast. Perfect timing. I'm gonna hold my debit card like this so no one can see.
I was
me.
gonna say, why you're like on the internet with video? Why are you using a debit card?
Well, you know how it is. You know how it is. Isn't it always the YouTuber thing to do to have your card leak online?
What did you get?
The Spider-Man 2 controller right here. I'm gonna open this up live on stream for everyone to see / hear if you're on the podcast services.
That does look pretty good.
Like the pleb that you are. God, how am I gonna get this?
Do you know what's funny is one of my big complaints about Venom was I didn't love the spiky tentacliness of his look in the game.
Yeah.
But I do really enjoy it on the controller.
It's something special there, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, so I've got this off now.
Oh, and look at that. They put colours on the... Oh, no, they didn't put colours on the buttons. Sony, what are you doing?
That is one thing that I was like, why did you do that? But I've got a plan for that. I'm going to remove it, put black ones in there. I've seen them online already. Let's open this up. Live unboxing for everyone.
Yeah, buddy, this is the content that you get.
Gotta put that nicely down there because I do like my boxes. I respect my boxes unlike some people.
Bruv, they just take up so much space.
I've got so many boxes in here, you've no idea. They're all strategically hidden.
Also, don't damage the stuff so you can do an actual unboxing video and pretend that it's the first time unboxing.
Oh,
that
yeah, for
looks
sure.
really good.
Woohoo!
Also, something you guys probably can't see, but the blue and pink lights behind him are reflecting on it, so it looks like the glory shots from the thing in real life.
I really like that a lot. Do you want to see that?
Yeah.
I've got to wipe our fingerprints off afterwards.
Yeah, that's pretty crisp. That's pretty nice. One thing I do wish it had is... Oh, no, maybe it does. Does this have the... It does have them.
It probably does,
They're
right?
much smaller than I remember.
Wouldn't it be cool if it was little Spider-Man logos?
Little spiders.
Spiders, sorry.
Yeah. That it does look very good. It does look very good. God damn it, I'm just... How much was this?
65.
That's actually not unreasonable. God damn it. Well, I'm not going to get it because I'm just not going to play the game and pretend that I've played it. Convince myself that I played it.
If you do that for every Spider-Man game...
Of course I played it. It's fantastic.
The entire Spider-Man franchise. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's the best PS2 game ever.
So yeah, that's the Spider-Man controller right now in live unboxing.
It's really good.
Yeah, it's really nice.
I will say as well, I feel like they're missing a trick with that whole like touchpad
Yeah.
that is utterly unused. Like it's basically an
The
external
map button.
6-axis, right? Like that is some prime real estate for designs because it doesn't matter if you ruin the map button. No, you just click start instead and hit map. Yeah.
I have
Anyway.
to say that's one thing that PlayStation are. They're very safe with their designs. Like they don't really go too far out of the box. Even the plates, which I also have coming.
I was going to say, of
whatnot.
course you do. Yeah.
It's the same design. It's just very safe. It's like we've got some red in there, we've got some black in there, we've got the logo. That's what we're doing.
It looks
But
good.
I'm going to customize the shit out of that.
It's
as well.
understated. It looks good. I would say I agree with you. The guys that like do the custom paintings who go hard. That's how I would choose to do it.
Yeah.
But also there's something to be said for that just clean, sleek. That is another aesthetic. There's nothing wrong with that. I would just go balls deep in Spider-Man. And also Spider-Man designs on the... Apologies.
Gams Master writes in to Patreon and he says, "G'day, bros.
G'day.
I need to make something." I'm not going to do the accent. I need to make a slight amendment from my comment from last week about Final Fantasy 16. Now that I have finished the game, I can bump my score up from a 6 to a 7 out of 10. The final boss fight was awesome, and the ending to the story made me shed a tear. The gameplay was fun, but I felt like there were too many filler points in the story that may just be me though. Baldur's Gate 3, on the other hand, is easily my pick for Game of the Year. Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that. Did you not hear at the beginning of the episode where we said we're battling an addiction? Before you got this episode, did you not hear?
Like I said, I'm free most of next week.
Oh, God.
And there is not only a co-op mode, but I've been actively trying to get you into Dungeons and Dragons, to play Dungeons and Dragons with you for a while. I even ran a one shot that ended up going two shots.
If I do that, that's going to really delay the Starfield game. Is that the end of the world? No.
I was gonna say, oh no.
Okay.
I get to play a mid-game.
He says the world is incredibly deep and the characters are very interesting. The devs have really added so much detail to the game and given the players so much agency to control the story as they see fit. I just learned you can interrupt almost all of the cutscenes and alter the story with your actions. Ooh.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot.
I've been playing for about a week and a half and I've racked up 40 hours and I have only scratched the surface. Sheps is absolutely going to love this game if he ever gets time to play it. I don't normally go out of my way to explore most open worlds, but I can't help but do so in Baldur's Gate 3. 10 out of 10. Holy shit. Have a good one, boys.
The problem with Baldur's Gate is this. This is not a game you play once. This isn't like, I'm trying to think of a game, like a COD campaign where you play it like, yeah, that was good, and you go and play the multiplayer or do something else. This is a game that you're like, sort of like The Witcher or The Last of Us, but then you're like, well, I played it as a good character. I'm going to play it as, I played it as a fighter. I'm going to play it as a wizard. I'm going to play it as an evil wizard. I'm going to play it as a gay bard. You know, like, like there's so many different options and different ways to play it, and my brother, like I said, has already put 3 different versions of the game on and said they're all drastically different. And also there's character creation, not issues, but things that change the game. So one of the backstories is called the Dark Urge, and the general idea, this is what I understand. I haven't looked, if I misspeak, apologies. But the basic idea is your character has amnesia. You don't know what you were up to before. But you randomly get a dark urge, i.e. to murder people. Presumably you're a serial killer. That's what I'm guessing from the dark urge. That would be my guess. And you can either fight it or not. So
there you go.
That in and of itself, 2 different versions of the game, otherwise played exactly the same. You can pick the same character class. You can make all the same decisions. But you just go, okay, I have the urge to murder this person. I'm going to murder him and see if I can get away with it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, how does that affect the game? So yeah. Also, I'm hearing nothing but incredible things about and I know it's not a dating simulator, but the romances. Mm-hmm. There is in particular, and I find this to be a really interesting conundrum, the muscle mummy in the game is literally like on fire, and you can't touch her.
Oh, come
and
on.
You have to figure out how you touch her. And
every man's dream.
She, being a realistic character, is like, if it wasn't, if I wasn't rogue, if I wasn't going to kill you, I would basically death by snoo. Like she's like, I'm all about it, assuming you're romancing her. So, a car like
I'm a strong waifu right here.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm all about the muscle mummies. I'm all about the on fire demon chick type thing. So, that, spoiler alert, is going to be my first playthrough. Is going to be the muscle mummy for sure.
We did have a corrected in Conbrosations from the last episode.
That sounds unusual. That's not
very unusual.
That's not on brand, yeah.
From a tier, tier, and we were comparing Starfield's voiceless protagonist to Baldur's Gate, where you were saying Baldur's Gate has voice players. Look how fantastic that is and stuff like that. And he says, actually, Baldur's Gate 3 isn't fully voiced when you pick the dialogue of the character who doesn't speak. He's got you in a box there, my friend. He's got you in a box.
I feel like you done me dirty with that one. You're misusing the creating conversations. There's a sacred thing.
Anyway,
God damn it.
That's what he did. It was very funny. I had to read that out.
Sick.
Tay. What else was there? There was one more comment from Alpha Aquila. He writes in, he says, Alan Wake 2...
I was gonna say Alan Wake 2.
Where is it ever gonna go? There was you saw some new gameplay. Alan Wake 2 looks phenomenal with fantastic atmosphere, including the sound design in the recent gameplay footage from Gamescom. I'm really going to have to fight my fear to experience this, as I'm not one for horror games.
I'm a huge pussy too.
That's exactly what he said, and you said it exactly. As this is my first horror game, I love how the trailer, such a good trailer, had had at the bottom mix of gameplay and in-game cinematics and in-game live action. They truly did mean seamless integration of live action. I think this game is going to be one of the best games ever, bro. It looks fantastic, and your loyalty, your fandom has not been misplaced. I think it's going to come out quite well.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
I also think another game that I wish I had the guts to have played is The Quarry.
Oh yeah.
Because I've heard amazing things, but I know there is a horror aspect to it, and I just don't like. It's both horror and creepy, and those are just. It's not a good mix for me.
I was good. The reason why it's brought me, so it is on our PSN, by the way. You can still play it if you want to.
Yeah, but I know I'm not gonna. That's the thing.
And the reason why I want to go back to Gamers Masters is because I was thinking, like, we was trying to play that one time I mentioned and whatnot. I think I'm gonna get Baldur's Gate 3.
Baldur's Gate 3.
I think I'm gonna do it. I think we can play it together next week. And
when are you free? Because, like I said, I'm off, and my chick's working a week, so I'm off, and I don't have a daughter. Like I'm off.
Well, I do have work still.
I have to pay my bills. I just got back from holiday.
Being self-employed, and by the way,
Anna needs to eat more than once a week.
No, she doesn't. Shut up, come on now. But after that, I think I can do it. So I think I'll be messaging. I think we're gonna do this.
I'll get it downloaded.
All right.
Yeah, buddy.
Vitali writes in and he says, with all the hype that's going on around Spider-Man 2, do you guys feel there's a chance that the story that it flops story-wise, like Spider-Man 3, fill in Raimi trilogy? Come on. How dare you?
Yeah, how dare you?
Granted, it wasn't as good as "There's a sun in the palm of my hands." Granted, it wasn't as good as that.
Drowning a sun in a bit of water. Cool.
Because, mate, the sun isn't that powerful, man. You can just put a bit of water on it. Pour a cup of water on it, it's done.
Just put it out. You gotta be really careful.
After the Spider-Man 2 movie, everyone was so excited for the third movie. Also, was there a game series that you weren't so interested in, but the sequel just ruined your interest in it? There's always a chance. However, I feel like Spider-Man is one of those characters that has a lot of potential.
It's very difficult to get Spider-Man wrong.
Yeah, it's because the reason why the MCU ones, in my opinion, weren't as good as the previous ones that went on is because they weren't trying to make it Spider-Man. They were trying to make
Spider-Man was part of a team.
They were trying to make it MCU. That's what they were trying to do. And
yep.
everything was in reference to the MCU. That's why. Actually, the reason why the last one was so good is because of nostalgia and stuff like that.
The thing about Spider-Man, and the reason where I like Tom Holland as Spider-Man, but I agree with you with the point that you're making, is he's your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Him and Daredevil patrol Hell's Kitchen, which, if you don't know, is about this big. Like, about that big.
Those guys are holding it down.
So,
and yet there's still crimes every day.
No, he's a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, and that's what makes him so interesting. Is it's sort of local crimes, and he's in a big city, so you get some big time criminals in a small time setting, right? Even though he's an incredibly strong hero, he isn't jet setting like the X-Men and Iron Man and Thor. Like, he's a kid trying to finish school or college, depending on what age you're in, meet girls, live on his own or with Aunt May so that she doesn't find out, and defeat villains and stop muggings and stuff. It's small time crime, generally speaking. This is not like world-ending threats.
And I think with the boldness of like Venom now being in this one, it's like, oh, that's gonna be such a cool hook, and how that plays with his personality, and the fact that they've also got Miles Morales in it, and how that's gonna interact with it, seeing his friend turn so dark and do all these bad things. There's a lot of potential there.
I also think, and this is to your point of, if like some people didn't enjoy the third Raimi movie, fine, whatever. My point would be that I think the writing has moved on. Like, Raimi's writing is somewhat dated for those movies, obviously, and it's, I guess, simplistic, and people, but especially the guys at Sucker Punch, know that the audience can handle interesting writing and not subverting expectations, but if they take it an interesting way, like if Pete ends up not being the big bad but a villain for a point in the game, that the audience can handle that if you do it correctly, if you respect each individual character. Like if you as Miles end up having to defeat Venom Pete, that one, that would go so hard, but two, the only problem with that is getting it to make sense, and then having the game transition from, oh cool, Pete's really powerful now, to Miles being like, something's wrong with Pete. He needs to be saved from himself. He's not himself. Something's not right. How do we get this thing off him? Right? That's a perfectly reasonable way for the game to go, and then it ends up on Craven or whatever. Right? Like the audience can be trusted, and good writers have enough respect for the audience to go, they're gonna get this because we're gonna do it right? So whereas I do genuinely think back in the early 2000s, it was like, we're going to have to keep this simple, spell it out. Like the most successful movies at the time are like Fast and Furious, Bad Boys. Like it's pretty freaking simple, you know?
Yeah.
And I think good writers know that an audience can totally cope with this stuff as long as you present things right, as long as you make it compelling. So Sucker Punch, I would say, have that well in hand. That would be my...
Yeah, I think it's in good hands. I don't think you need to worry about that. Something else I was going to mention here.
Good to know, man.
I don't know. There's always a chance that it goes bad, but I don't believe it's going to be anything.
Is it possible? Yeah, I guess. The other thing, here's another point to why it would be easier for the game to have a good story, is the writers are allowed to have a time for the story to develop. It doesn't have to fit in 2 hours on screen, and it's not going to have random editors cutting out the one scene that makes sense as to why Superman has a beef with Batman, right?
Oh man,
how did that 30-second scene in the courthouse end up on the cutting room floor? That was ridiculous. It makes the whole movie. Batman vs Superman, you have to watch the extended cut. Don't watch the theatrical release. It doesn't make sense. It's shit. But in a game where the main story is intended to be 10, 15, 20 hours long, these things are allowed to develop naturally. So you don't have to worry about that weird editor's cut. Like, how often do we get director's cuts of games like Spider-Man? Like, yes, we do get director's cuts for certain things, but what did the director's cut of Ghost of Tsushima add? Not in terms of story, not a lot. Just extra stuff. Like, they just called it a director's cut, but really it was an FPS boost, and what else did they add?
The Iki Island
DLC. Right? It was a DLC. It wasn't really a director's cut.
Yeah.
In a movie, a director's cut is, your 2-hour movie actually is a 3-hour, 20-minute runtime.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, this is a real different animal now, So you don't get that. So I really would think they got it.
Yeah.
Also, if it does suck, then I'm going to give it 10 out of 10 no matter what.
No matter what, because
I'm not going to play it.
We're so even worse. But I'm not going to play it, and I'm going to give it the best.
This is a must buy. I mean, I didn't, but you should.
But you should definitely buy it. Yeah. All right. Well, that's the end of that, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining us for this episode of the True Game Podcast. Join us in a couple of weeks for another one.
Yeah,
if you're a patron, you can enjoy a Conbrosations podcast. It's happening right after this. And yeah, we'll catch you guys all in the next one.
Catch you next one.
Enjoy gaming, lads. Bye bye.
Gaming. We're gonna. Are we genuinely doing the Baldur's Gate 3?
I really do want to. I think this would be, even if it's just going to be for this 1 week of us playing together, I want that thing again.
Down.
And I feel like I can do it.
Now, my only time
I'm
constraint...
going to delay Starfield just so I can do it.
My only time constraint is until about 8:30. That's when my missus gets home and I won't be able to,
That's some bullshit. I was planning to play most of the night. How about...
I don't sleep.
How about you drop your missus?
This is what I'm saying. I don't sleep. She'll be in bed by 10 o'clock. I don't sleep anyway.
If it's only an hour and a half you're trying to put me off for, don't worry, I can have a break. I can also pretend that I'm with my girlfriend. My girlfriend for that time as well.
My genuine concern is that something like that will happen. One of us will get super leveled, and then this is what happened to us in The Division or the Division 2, like you'd played it and you finally convinced me to get it, and you were like a level 39 and I was like a level 3. Do you know what I mean? It's just awkward, and you're like, oh, you have to do this, and there's so much for me to learn. Whereas if we're learning it all for the first time together, anyway, we'll figure it out.
I'm hoping we can do this.
Give me the word. I'll download it. I got that money set aside already. Like, you don't have to worry. I'm ready to go.
I've got money that I don't have set aside for it. So there you go.
If I don't spend this money, the universe is going to take it from me anyway.
Yep. That's the way it is.
True facts.
All right. Catch you later, boys.